Hi, welcome to the News at Jen for July 1st. It's International Joke Day, and I got nothing. Our top news story today is that the Trump Organization and its chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, has been charged with tax crimes. Alan Weisselberg is surrendered to authorities on Thursday morning. The exact charges were unsealed Thursday afternoon, giving me a perfect opportunity to delay release of the News at Jen until that section can be added right here. Apparently, Weisselberg collected $1.7 million in compensation without paying taxes on it. The IRS don't like that too much. Apparently, he failed to pay taxes on various things like tuition for his grandchildren, cars, and various other perks. And if you don't pay taxes on it, this is all very weird because if you hear Michael Cohen talk about it, Trump didn't pay a lot of his people anything. So this scheme also impacts the Trump Organization because of its systemic failure to assess and report those payments, allegedly. So surprise, something to do with office supply theft. But more details will be coming in the future as they unseal the charges and if Weisselberg sells out any of his former colleagues. So, for the record, he's also pled not guilty. Also in scumbag news, Bill Cosby was released from prison, and not because he didn't do anything, but because he had an agreement with the prosecutor before the one who charged him. Oof, that don't even... And he never even got that agreement in writing. I mean, so he's still convicted, but was released on a technicality, which, fair, that's how the criminal justice system works in the U.S. If the government doesn't follow the rules, then guilty men go free. Except this rule seems like a bad idea sometimes. I mean, but it has to be that way. But you should probably get that shit in writing. I mean, please, it'll just prevent victims from coming forward in the future. And I know that you need this stuff in writing. I'm not even a lawyer. Speaking of governments following rules, South Dakota has deployed National Guards to the southern border in an attempt to deal with a rise in border crossings, although most migrants have already been sent back to Mexico. The 50 troops will spend about 30 to 60 days and is paid for by a private donation, which is one way that I've learned that this week you can put an army to personal use. Speaking of armies for personal use, former Defense Secretary and former Secretary of Defense again, Donald Rumsfeld died at the age of 88 on Wednesday, which is about 66 more years than the thousands of kids he sent off to die in Iraq and the Iraqi citizens got. He left behind his wife, children, unknown unknowns, and known unknowns. He will not be missed. A spokesman said that Mr. Rumsfeld's next task would be the invasion of limbo from hell. Nobody really cares about limbo anyway. Visitors to the Guardian website were greeted with a banner that suggested that they could watch the war criminal die in real time. Quite a scoop. In awesome priorities news, the Champlain Towers condo board, who oversaw the former Surfside condo before it became the current Surfside rubble pile, has hired a crisis PR firm. They're still looking through the wreckage for the dead, which has risen to 18 at the time of this writing. So, of course, the next priority is optics. Also in optics news, scientists have captured the highest resolution magnification ever, and it's of my 5 o'clock shadow. But actually, Cornell University has used a technique called electron ptychographic reconstruction to take pictures at 100 million times magnification. And at such resolutions, we can see the structure of a crystal in 3 dimensions to a thickness of nearly 30 to 50 nanometers. If you're wondering for scale, a nanometer is 10 times the length of an atom, which is also completely meaningless because that's how fucking tiny it is. It's approximately the size of all the love in Mitch McConnell's cold, dead heart. When asked what kind of research would be aided by such technologies, the scientists offered material science benefits, which may improve batteries and other high-tech. So, it's also possibly useful for getting a knot out of your sneakers. How did you get it that goddamn tight? Also in optics news, an LA bomb squad truck blew up after all the confiscated fireworks inside exploded. 17 were hurt, but the 5,000 pounds of illegal fireworks put on a hell of a show. Maybe they should have left it with the guy that they took it from. It was obviously in safer hands. In economics news, Walgreens stocks fell not because they had a bad quarter, but because as more people are getting vaccinated, fewer people will be needed to be vaccinated in the future. showing that investors are no longer merely happy with getting some of the money now. They'll be upset when a company can't exploit a worldwide pandemic forever. In That's Nuts news, a man in California was arrested for stealing 21 tons of pistachios when they eventually found them inside another trailer, already repackaged for resale. A spokesman for the Barnum and Bailey Circus said that this would cause ticket prices to rise for the elephant event show. The arrested man protested the charges, insisting while pistachios were technically not nuts, but legumes. In Freedom News, Britney Spears was denied removal of her father as a conservator, leaving both her and another woman, Jody Montgomery, in charge of the estate and person, respectively. The good news is at least there are more people in this story to dislike than just her dad. And this is not a joke news. Matt Gaetz has invited Britney Spears to testify about her ongoing problems. Well, that dude will get anything to get some of her tickets to her shows for one of his girlfriends. Well, that's the news at Gen for July 1st, 2021. Thank you for your time and thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please remember, I love you.